Oedipus. Oedipus was born to King Laius and Queen Jocasta of Thebes. However, he did not know this. There was a prophecy for him at birth, a tragic prophecy. He would kill his father and marry his mother. Therefore, to avoid this, his parents left him to die on a mountain. There, he was saved by a shepherd and eventually raised by the royal family of Corinth. This family never knew the truth. So when Oedipus did find out about the prophecy, he fled to protect his parents, even though he never knew his real identity. On the road, he got into a dispute, and in a rage, he killed a man, which turned out to be King Laius himself, his own father. Then, he saved Thebes from the Sphinx after solving a riddle, and married Queen Jocasta, or his mother, unknowingly. Years later, when there's a plague in Thebes, Oedipus swears to find out why, and investigates until the end. Then, it all comes crashing down. Despite warning from the prophet Tiresias, he keeps going with it, and then they all learn of the truth. After learning of the truth, Queen Jocasta takes her own life. Then Oedipus blinds himself and says, "Ah, all has come to pass, all true. Light, let this be the last time I look upon you." His tragedy lies in not being able to escape fate and his own hubris of not taking heed to warning. Antigone. Antigone is the daughter of Oedipus. She was raised in shame due to her aforementioned tragedy of Oedipus. After her father's fall, Thebes is torn because of a brotherly dispute between Eteocles and Polynices. They kill each other in battle, but looked at very differently. Creon, now king and her uncle, honors Eteocles with his proper burial, but declares Polynices to be a traitor left without burial. However, Antigone believes in divine law, and that is above man's decree in her opinion. She decidedly sneaks out at night and buries her brother out of honor, respect, and love. She's caught and brought before King Creon, where she makes her stands and disputes Creon. She says, "I was not born to share in hatred, but in love." Creon then sentences her to death. Imprisoned in a cave, she hangs herself. Her fiancé, Haemon, Creon's son, kills himself thereafter, and then Creon's wife, Eurydice, takes her own life too. Antigone's tragedy is that of defiance of King Creon's decree, as well as her unwavering love for her brother. She also stuck to her morals and her faith with divine law. Orpheus. Orpheus is the son of Apollo and the muse Calliope. He was the greatest musician of his time. He married Eurydice, a different one, but with short-lived happiness. She died on her wedding day because of a snake bite. Orpheus descended into the underworld, where no living thing can return alive, and he did this out of grief. He then played for Hades and Persephone, and after being moved by Orpheus, they allowed Eurydice to return to life with a single yet significant condition. Orpheus cannot look back for any reason until they both reached the upper world. As they ascended, Orpheus had doubts that grew larger and larger. He could not hear her, and he began to become very anxious. As they were about to emerge, he got too fearful with doubt. He turned to look with a quick glance, and as the narrator says, he turned his eyes so he could gaze upon her. Instantly, she slipped away. She then vanished forever. His tragedy lies in doubt and fearfulness. He lost faith, and that is the reason of his tragedy. Echo. Echo was a nymph with a beautiful and captivating voice. Whenever Zeus would always be playing around with the nymphs, she distracted Hera with her voice, so she could never notice him gone. Hera, when she found out, was very angered and cursed her. Echo could now only speak after others as an echo, by only being able to repeat what they have said. If someone spoke, she could not be silent either. One day, she saw Narcissus, a youthful fellow with perfect beauty. However, he only loved himself. Echo wanted to talk to him, but could only mirror his words. In Ovid's Metamorphosis, it states how she longed to speak soft words to soothe and win his love, but nature would not let her. Narcissus did not reciprocate her love back. She was heartbroken and ran away until only her voice remained. And that's all that was left, an echo. Echo's tragedy is due to divine punishment by angering the gods, specifically in this case, Hera. Icarus. Icarus was the son of Daedalus, the inventor who built the labyrinth. Afraid that Daedalus would let the secret out, they were imprisoned by King Minos. Daedalus devised a new plan consisting of wings made of feathers and wax. However, he warned that if his son flew too low, the sea would drag him down, and if he flew too high, the sun would melt the wax away. Then they took to the skies, and they're flying like they were gods. But then, the higher they flew, the more Icarus did not take heed to the warning given by his father. He was enamored by the sun and thrilled by the flying. So then he continued to soar higher and higher. And then, in Ovid's Metamorphosis, it states how, the wax softened in the glorious sun. He cried his father's name as he fell. Icarus fell into the sea, with his body never being found. His tragedy is ignoring the warnings, and also hubris, or excessive pride. Pentheus. Pentheus was the king of Thebes, loved as he was a man of reason. However, he made an errant mistake. He denied Dionysus, god of wine and ecstasy. When Dionysus returns to Thebes to reestablish his religion, Pentheus bans his worship. Pentheus also arrests Dionysus unknowingly, as Dionysus was in disguise. Dionysus decides to toy with him and unravel him mentally. He convinces Pentheus to dress as a woman in order to spy on the Bacchae, women driven mad by his divine ecstasy. Deluded, Pentheus agrees to do it. He is, however, mistaken for a wild animal by the crazed woman, including Agave, his own mother. "You do not know how you live, or what you are doing, or who you are," says Dionysus to Pentheus, as he's mocking him, and because of his delusion. He is torn limb to limb by the woman, and Agave, still under the divine ecstasy, carries his severed home in triumph. Pentheus's tragedy is one of arrogance against the divine and against the gods.